going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. Another day, another Yeezy 350, another Yeezy 350 box. Today, guys, we are taking a look at the latest Yeezy 350, and I had to hurry up and get this video out because there is another Yeezy 350 coming out in about a week. So without further ado, let's take a look. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ADIDAS YEEZY Boost 350 version 2 Yeezreel. All right, guys. We got a couple of things to talk about today with this sneaker, because with this shoe comes a really interesting story about where Kanye West is right now in his spiritual development, the really interesting backstory behind this sneaker and the name of it, and what this means for the future of not just the Yeezy line, but the 350 version 2 in particular. But let's take a quick look at the shoe first. You guys know what a 350 looks like, so we're not going to take too much time going through the shoe, and then we'll get into the story behind it. All right, starting with the upper of the shoe here. Now, of course, you guys are getting the semi-frozen Yeezy 350 version 2 vibes with this one. That color green on the upper lining going around the top of the sneaker here, along with the pull tab, has the exact same colors as the semi-frozen with this really interesting midsole. Now, the difference in these is that on the prime knit upper here, the pattern has changed from previous V2s that we've seen. It's going back to that static, that triple black kind of print here. Now, you want my opinion? I've always been a fan of this print ever since I saw it on the static. I love all of the intricacies of the woven threads, the fibers going all throughout the upper of the sneaker. I always say that the 350 version 2 is one of the best made sneakers, honestly, in many, many years. It's just very well done. The prime knit is great. The boost is great. It's really well done. Now, again, top of the sneaker here is black, and that always was striking me as very interesting why it's black. Of course, you have the regular translucent strip here going down the lateral side of the sneaker, but why is it black? Now, really interesting color choice for the laces on these. The laces are actually like a mint green color as opposed to the glow green color that's on the rest of the sneaker, the semi-frozen yellow. I don't know why they made this like this mint green, but it really doesn't match much else on the shoe, but there it is. Now, as far as the midsole on the shoe, looks like a glow midsole here, but it does not glow in the dark. So if you guys still don't know whether or not the shoe glows in the dark, I'm here to tell you, no, this sneaker does not glow in the dark. On the heel of the shoe, if you have seen the semi-frozen Yeezys, you have seen this pull tab before. Same color, same stitching, same pretty much everything. You got the reflective 3 stripes in the back of the sneaker. As far as the outsole of the shoe, really, really loud green color, but again, does not glow in the dark. And as far as the insole goes, white insole here with the black Adidas and Yeezy co-branding on the heel. And honestly, that's pretty much it when it comes to the Yeezreel ADIDAS YEEZY Boost 350 version 2. Now, again, the story behind this sneaker and the name Yeezreel is one that I really want to talk about today. As I mentioned before, Kanye has really been on his spiritual journey. Now that he came out with the Jesus is King album, the Jesus is King movie, and he's still continuing on with his Sunday services, Kanye is really, really deeply enveloped with his spiritual walk. That being said, it looks like all of the future 350s that Kanye is getting ready to come out with, at least in the near future, all have some sort of biblical reference in their name as their color. You have the Yeezreels that are getting ready to come out, I think on December the 20th. You have the Yeezreel or something like that. I can't remember what all the names of them are right now, but they all have something to do with some sort of a biblical reference. And of course, that starts here with the Yeezreel. Now, what exactly is Yeezreel? Of course, Yeezy is a no-brainer. But if you want my opinion, I think that Yeezreel is a Yeezy derivative of Yeezreel, which is actually a city in Israel. Now, the city to me is very important. If you don't know much about the city of Yeezreel, or you're not really into the Bible and everything like that, so you guys may not be that religious, that's okay. I'll give you guys just kind of a really quick overview about it. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Yeezreel was a very, very influential city back, of course, in the Bible days, and one of the most prominent rulers of Yeezreel was King Ahab. King Ahab was married to a woman named Jezebel, and that may be a name that you're familiar with, even if you're not super heavy into the Bible. Now, Jezebel, of course, has a really bad reputation throughout the Bible of being an adulterer and a murderer and things of that nature. She did some really, really awful, awful things. Now, the story of Jezebel is actually a little bit deeper, in my opinion, because when you really look at the story of Jezebel and you realize what it was, Jezebel really at her core was someone that didn't want to conform to the ideologies and the beliefs of the city where she moved into, which was Yeezreel. Jezebel was from Phoenicia and she worshipped a god named Baal. She didn't want to worship Yahweh or Jesus or whatever we call him now. However, after she married King Ahab, maybe it was arranged, maybe it was for political purposes, I'm not sure, she was forced basically to come to Yeezreel, where she was met with a lot of opposition because she refused to believe in everybody else's god. As such, and because of a lot of other things that went down, long story short, she actually was thrown from a window and she was killed. It's a really interesting story when you start to dig into it. But again, in reference to the Yeezreel Yeezy 350s, at the end of the line on Clothes on Sundays, Kanye says, Jezebel doesn't even stand a chance. If you want my opinion, I think that the song, that story, and these sneakers all coincide with one another. I also think that that's part of the reason why the upper of the shoe is black. It's dark, but the shoe itself is very light and it glows. Maybe it's a mixture of dark and light. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a message there about the mixture between dark and light. I'm not sure. I'm not a scholar in that department, and I certainly am not Kanye West. But what I do know is that this sneaker signifies a really interesting change in Kanye's artistic direction and his vision. Now, the question is, at the end of the day, do people really care that much about the story, or do people really just care about how the shoe looks and how much it's worth on StockX? If you want my opinion, I think that it's generally the latter. I think people just care more so about how much the sneaker is worth and not so much about the inspiration behind the sneaker. Now, I'll be honest with you, that to me actually puts Kanye at a little bit of an advantage versus somebody like Michael Jordan, who has a little bit of an older crowd that follows his sneakers. We are more emotionally tied to Michael Jordan and the things that he's done in his life, of course, his accolades and his basketball career. So that is what makes us buy his sneakers a lot. The Bread 11, of course, was a shoe that was tied to 1996 when Michael Jordan won the championship, one of the most popular sneakers of all time. However, even with Kanye doing all the things that he's done, it seems like nobody really cares that much about that. They really just care about the way that the sneaker looks and how it feels. Now, we also know that Kanye is on a mission right now to overthrow Jordan. While I don't think that that's happening right now, I do see the 350 becoming Kanye's Jordan 1. And I know that might be a bit of a controversial statement, but you see so many different colorways of this sneaker, this model that really, really works. Everybody keeps buying them off the shelves no matter how many different colorways of the sneaker that they make, just like a Jordan 1. Not to mention, this sneaker is a lot more comfortable than a Jordan 1. Just calling a spade a spade. But if it's up to me, I'm still gonna rock a Jordan 1 over a 350 any day. So my question for you guys is, are you guys gonna follow Kanye's journey now that he has these more biblically themed sneakers? Or honestly, do you just not care what the sneaker is called? You just more so care about how it looks, how it feels, and how much it's worth? Sound off down below. I'd love to know your thoughts about these. Oh, of course, while you're down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family, to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the ADIDAS Yeezy Boost 350 version 2 Yeezreel. And until next time, I'm out.